Now, there is a couple of other things I do want to cover. Variable assignment. Okay. Variables can be overwritten at will. There's no read-only variable, local variables that we have. Okay. So, for example, let me just go ahead and say go to start us a new batch down here so that the syntax editor will pick up everything. So declare at myvar int equal 6, set at myvar equal myvar plus 1, and then print myvar. Okay. Notice that we are assigning it in line. This is inline assignment, and this is new in SQL Server 2008. So it's available in SQL 2008 as well as in R2. Okay. The alternative, I could have written this, sorry, my fault. Could have written this in this way. I could have said set myvar equal 6. This is a more declarative assignment. I'm specifically declaring the value. Okay. Now I also could have done select. Select and set can both be used for variable assignment. Rule of thumb. Select is used when assigning a variable a value from a query. Set is used to assign a variable a value from a function or literal value. I hate to do that, and I'm sorry. I don't like to give rules before I've really given you examples. Let me just start coming down here, and I'll make sure you get this. Okay, this is just a shortcut syntax. I prefer the inline assignment. Okay, it's just saves me the typing of having to make a decision on which one I want to use and make a new line of code. So I prefer this. Okay. The set, notice that we are incrementing myvar plus 1. We'll talk about how to do plus equal and things at a later point in the course. Right now, we'll just stick with our standard syntax I think most people would be familiar with here. Okay. So set and select. Now, notice the number 6 right here. This would be considered a literal value. Okay, that's a literal, something that you typed in. So based on our rule of thumb that we would use down here, for assigning the value of myvar, should we use set or select? We're going to want to use set. Set myvar equals 6. Performance-wise, this line of code and this line of code is the exact same thing. But mentally, we use select to assign a variable a value from a query. Okay, let me show you a bigger example here. So declare largest customer ID. Select largest customer ID equals max. Hold on, give me just a second. Let me use the AdventureWorks database. Alias it. We'll talk about aliasing and things. C dot customer ID or customer key. Okay. Select largest customer ID. Okay. So in a case of this, we are assigning the value of the variable to be the result of a query. Which should we use? Should we use select or set? We have to use select actually. It's a mandatory. Set cannot run queries. Set can assign a variable a value from a function or from a literal. I could say declare today's date, set today's date equal, get date. That is a scalar function, get date is, that returns the server date and time. And you can actually see. So I am assigning this the value of a function, but set cannot run a query. Set cannot assign the value of this variable a query. We could up here though, notice that we're assigning it. That's what select is for. So the difference of when to use select versus set. Select is used when you have a from statement. Set is not. And we're going to see a lot of this. I'm kind of trying to give you all of the basics in a single video here, just enough to get us started somewhat. We can declare multiple variables with a single declare. Declare at v1, int at v2, int at v3, int. They can even be of different data types, at v4, date time, at v5, money. Okay. Oops. So I could do that. I can use something like select v1 equals 1, at v2 equals 3. Okay. One thing that I will do when I'm working on multiple variables is I will often put them on separate lines like this, because this way I can put comments at the end that says the difference between at v2 and at v3 is that at v3 is whatever, right? You can put documentation, inline documentation, if you do it that way. Right? And you can even do assignment with this. So I can say equals something like that. Trying to think of other little bitty things. That's the basics. We will be declaring lots of variables. Over the next 3 or 4 videos, we're going to be using variables to allow us to see the data types. So I think that's enough. There will be times, I'm sure I've forgotten to show you something here, and we'll see some of that as the course develops.